This is David Grush on Tucker, and this is what he had to say. I think this is a little older, but I can't listen to every single piece of UFO media that comes out. As much as people might want me to do so, I just don't have the time and the energy to listen to everything. But this came across the old home office, the desk at the home office, so I'll bring this up. Grush on Tucker, and he said this.
Account for the behavior you're describing.
Yeah, at first,
they're hiding something real that implicates them. And if they're talking to these entities, whatever they are, and I believe on the basis of evidence that the U.S. government has made contact and has had continuous or at least sporadic, but over a period of years contact, you don't need to nod or shake your head, but that is my belief based on talking to people. Like, what is that?
Yeah, if there's certainly, a relationship that was cultivated with non-human intelligences, hypothetically, I guess, to play off of what you just said.
Yeah, he had to throw in the hypothetically right there.
Just in case, maybe.
Hey, hypothetically.
I'm going to weasel.
Hypothetically, not saying yes or no, but he basically said yes. According to him, in his sources, he just confirmed exactly what Tucker was saying, that the United States government has had communication with entities, non-human entities. But then he said hypothetically.
Non-human intelligences.
Yeah, non-human intelligences. Hypothetically.
Could be a computer.
Yeah, maybe.
Good or bad, it's almost like, play off of what you just said, we were afraid after 9/11. Dirty bombs, terrorists. Okay, well, that's nature. That's life. Yin and yang of the universe. If there's malevolent non-human intelligences, okay, well, that's a fact of life. Don't hide it. Because what if the U.S. populace needs to be prepared for something someday?
Well,
hypothetically.
And it's also not their right to hide it because they don't own the government. The public does, actually.
Hypothetically.
Exactly. And it's just, I understand the reasons at first, but like you said, I think it's just the moral decay and the decay in leadership. And once again, well, we don't want to admit we did all this stuff years ago.
But also, if the U.S. government has had contact with these entities, and again, it is my informed belief that the U.S. government has had contact, what are they talking about? What is that?
Hey, baseball. I would like to know, too.
Recipes.
So, there.
Vacation spots.
David Grush saying, I would say, in his weasel way, that the United States government, or at least certain people within it, higher level people within probably the Pentagon, have made contact with these non-human intelligence, hypothetically, and they don't know the nature of these communications. And David Grush is saying, well, if it's good or bad entities, are these good ones or bad ones? Regardless, the human population, specifically the American public, needs to know because it's our government. And if it's bad, well, we need to be able to prepare in the event that the baddies want to come down and do some bad things to us.
Baddies?
Well, the baddies, they do bad things. You gotta be careful.
This was my ass.
Are they bad dudes?
No, I don't know. But that brings me to this article right here. Bring this up on screen. And here it is. This is the headline. What are they trying to tell us? Internal Pentagon report warns America is unequipped to defend itself from an alien invasion. Oh, boy.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, okay. We had that clip from David Grush saying we should probably be ready for these bad aliens. And then this Pentagon report, which has probably been around for decades. Now the Daily Mail is reporting on this. So U.S. officials do not have the capabilities to defend America against a hypothetical alien invasion, internal Pentagon watchdogs have determined. There you go. Hypothetical. Again, using that term.
They do use that term a lot.
Yeah. David Grush used it, I think, twice or three times, and now it's being said here in this Pentagon report. A newly declassified document found at the Department of Defense lacks comprehensive or coordinated effort to track and analyze UFOs, which have been rebranded unidentified anomalous phenomenon in recent years. The Office of Inspector General made the eerie conclusion that this blind spot in the DoD's defensive capabilities pose a threat to military forces and national security. To address the issue identified in this report, the OIG has made 11 recommendations, including the enforcement of protection policies and the development of new tools in the event of an extraterrestrial attack.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
It's a kind of a specific thing to bring up there.
It is. That's quite fairly direct. He's got 11 recommendations. He's got a top 11 list of things we need to do.
We're not saying we know about the aliens, but here's what to do when if they attack. It's hypothetically.
Well, remember we read that article from NJ Casino a few months ago about the places in America that were
spots.
Were they the safest spots in America in the event of an alien invasion?
I don't remember.
Or is it the areas in America most likely to be attacked? I don't know. I forget.
Dig it up.
DOD efforts to identify and understand UAP have been irregular because of competing priorities, lack of substantive progress, and inconclusive findings, reads evaluation of the DOD's actions regarding unidentified anomalous phenomenon, previously issued in 2023. However, military pilots have continued to report UAP incidents despite the sporadic efforts of the DOD to identify, report, and analyze the events. The 2023 report was a collection of evaluations on whether the Pentagon, military branches, defense agencies, and counterintelligence organizations conducted actions to detect, report, collect, and analyze and identify UAP. The DoD has not issued a comprehensive UAP response plan that identifies roles, responsibilities, requirements, and coordination procedures for detecting, reporting, collecting, analyzing, and identifying UAP incidents. The OIG concluded. The agency conducted the work for the evaluation of the May 2021 through June 2023 and interviewed presidential and DoD policy directives and guidance. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so in July of 2022, the Pentagon set up the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. And that was, I believe, one of the people headed that was Dr. Kirkpatrick.
Kirkpatrick, who hates his job?
Yeah, he recently, I believe, left that position.
Exactly. He wasn't doing shit anyway, so...
However, the OIG has questioned, the AARO is responsible for synchronizing and standardizing the collection, analysis, and identification of UAP incidents. However, the OIG has questioned the ability of the nation to organize and defend itself in a summary of the classified report. The OIG found that due to lack of DoD-level guidance, the AARO has not developed a formal process to detect and report unidentified objects in the U.S. skies. How does this thing wind up? This is a pretty thorough article on this, considering it's the Daily Mail. To address the issues of identified in the report, the DoD and OIG said they have made 11 recommendations to the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. For example, the OIG recommended that the DoD issue a policy to integrate roles, responsibilities, requirements, and coordination procedures regarding UAP into existing intelligence, counterintelligence, and force protection policies and procedures, the report says. You know what that means, Cratchit? Because it sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook to me.
Look at this shit.
That's word salad.
It sounds like they want to integrate roles. It sounds like they want to consolidate power and under like one leader instead of having all these responsibilities spread out over many different departments. They want to have a more top-down, authoritative leadership structure in regards to UAP.
Well, and if you recall a while ago, they wanted to bring all that under the DOD so that they could clamp down on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of moving it out of one government, having multiple locations within the larger government structure to report or research these things, they wanted to put it all under the DOD.
The report also suggests the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff issue guidance to the geographic combatant commanders regarding unidentified anomalous phenomenon detection, reporting, collection, analysis, and identification within their area of responsibility. Oh, so I think what this is saying here, what I'm reading from this, so the Joint Chiefs wants the people on the ground, the commanders on the ground, to start cataloging all the anomalous things that they see and collect it, report it. And I'm like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Shoot it down if you can and collect it, because the CIA has all this stuff and we need some of our own.
Go get me some aliens.
I think that's what it's saying right here, is that the standard Pentagon structure, like the old school Army and Navy guys, they feel left out for the most part because the UAP collection and crash recovery has primarily been the arm of the CIA and certain special forces operations. And the Army and the Navy are saying, well, screw that. We want to collect some of this stuff too for our own use.
You're saying they're feeling left out. They don't get to do as much probing as the other guys.
Yeah. And so I think the Joint Chiefs are saying, well, if you see this stuff, bring it down, collect it, and bring it back to me.
Probe it a little bit, then bring it over.
That's what I'm getting out of it. At a minimum, the guidance should include tools to help commands determine the threat posed by unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Okay, we are releasing this unclassified summary to be as transparent as possible with the American people about our oversight work on this important issue. Why? He's calling it an important issue.
Oh,
well,
there's anuses to be probed. Come on.
Considering what Grush says, and we don't know at this point if Grush is a mirage man, meaning that he has been fed a bunch of information by people that he trusts, and he believes the information, but the information is polluted. Some of it might be real, some of it might be absolute bunk. But he's saying and spreading that information as if it is all true, but it's just what he's heard. I believe similar things happened to Bob Lazar when he worked at Area 51, that they fed him genuine, real information and then a bunch of BS in order to pollute the well and pollute the information out there in the event and when he did decide to tell all the secrets that he knew. So it all kind of got muddled together. But now that they're talking about alien invasions, that sounds a lot like Project Bluebeam. At this point, if the aliens wanted to invade, wouldn't they have already? And wouldn't they already be walking amongst us in some way?
Because we've ruined the planet due to climate change, apparently.
Possibly. I was thinking about this. What possible reasons could we give the aliens to do an overt invasion at this point?
An invasion or a visitation?
They're saying invasion here.
Right.
So in regards to this report, an alien invasion, something on the scale of Independence Day, like something that big.
David!
Now, the only thing that would give them, I suppose, the justification just to come in and put the smackdown on us would be that if we developed and successfully reverse engineered their craft and are preparing to mass produce them for our own front in space.
You'd all be dead now if it wasn't my David.
That's it.
Or if we were right on the threshold of a nuclear exchange, they may not want us to ruin the planet because they still want to come down and gang probe us.
They're still here. Yeah, they do have bases of operation here, according to a lot of people, that they use the planet, they like the planet, they do not want to see it charred.
Except that one alien, remember, they talked to, that guy hated the planet.
Wasn't a big fan.
Not impressed.
Yeah, he's like, it's nice, but take it or leave it. Now, there's not much that has changed, so I suspect that this feels very Project Bluebeamy, and
Bluebeamy.
Yeah, it does. It feels very Project Bluebeamy, and Project Bluebeam is where the ruling elite would fake some sort of alien invasion in an effort to galvanize the human population to focus on a singular threat. A threat coming from outside of Earth. And that would do it. But Think about all that would be required to do a fairly convincing alien invasion. You would need like many different tangible vehicles, visiting. I would suppose different locations all across the globe. You would need people, or at least some sort of automatons interacting with people. There'd have to be some sort of energy exchange. It would have to be some pretty convincing visual effects and some real held stuff that would be viewable on TikTok.
They're lazy, so a germ is way easier.
Yeah,
they're a bunch of basic bitches, and yeah, they do want us to unite against a singular thing. But it's nice to be able to blame us, like Cretched talking about climate change. But this virus, you know what I mean? We're all gross. We're all disgusting. Aliens, it's too creative and too much fun. They don't want us having fun.
I think you're right. I think doing a convincing alien invasion is too difficult, and it is easier to use something like COVID-19, like using something like that. Yeah, I think it's easier to do that than to stage an alien invasion in a convincing way at this point.
And alien invasions would be fun.
It certainly would spice things up. That's
It'd be more interesting than a germ. Jesus.
Yeah, and ultimately the germ gets them what they want. They want some sort of passport. They want to control your travel. They want to control what you eat, how much you travel, how much you go to the store, all that kind of stuff.
And they don't want us united at all.
Not really.
They want us the only unison we had was to hate our neighbors for not wearing masks or wearing masks, because you had it on both sides. Like I would see somebody alone in the car with a mask and I'd be, you fucking idiot. And then someone would see me alone in the car without a mask and be like, oh my God, he's going to die. I hope he does.
Yeah. I like the aliens would, I think, have invaded already in an overt way. And if they are here and then they're walking amongst us already. That they have the technology and they're just walking freely amongst us, and they're already in the higher echelons of government. They're in communication with all ruling elite, and they have made their blood pact with these entities, and that's why the world is the way it is.